Today I want to show you a couple of very basic, simple techniques that you can use to kind of add a little bit of character and change the quality of the sound of your harmonica as you play. And these are just very basic, simple sort of techniques which you can use even with the beginning sort of songs that I'm trying to show you. Alright, first of all, I've shown you to hold the harmonica in your left hand and then to hold the other hand behind it, creating a little bit of a chamber. I like to hinge it with kind of the heel of my thumb against my other thumb, and that kind of becomes the hinge for doing this. And when you do this, you want to cup your hand in kind of a round way and make sure you cup it tightly where you seal off any exit for the air. You want to be able to create a airtight chamber behind the harmonica. Now, by doing that, if you have your hand closed, you can muffle the sound. It gives it kind of that lonesome, far away sort of sound. You can open it and get full volume. And then, of course, you can give it a little bit of a warble by fluctuating your hand like that, or give it a little bit of what they call a wah-wah sort of sound. I'll demonstrate a couple of these. Okay, first of all, just kind of showing the difference between it open and closed. And you can give it that little wah-wah sound. And give it a little bit of a warble sound to it. And some of those are good ways to end a line of their song or end the song, give it a little bit of a flourish to the end of it. Alright, another technique you can use is called popping the harmonica. And this is just a very simple, basic way to begin doing that. As you're playing, if you're using an open mouth technique, like most of y'all think are beginning starting out, you're not using your tongue much, you just kind of have your mouth open playing in the middle of the note that you're trying to hit. But even with that, you can give it a little bit of a popping sort of sound. To pop the harmonica, you're going to blow through the harmonica and you're going to apply and then remove your tongue. And that'll allow air to come out in a very staccato sort of sound. Something like this. Now, another thing you can do with that is you can do what's kind of a way of chording on the harmonica. If you, and as you practice isolating a single note and playing individual notes, the way I like to do it is, as I'm playing the harmonica, I'll have my tongue covering most of the notes except the one that I'm blowing through over to my right side. And then I can lift my tongue off the harmonica to open up other notes that creates a kind of chording sound. To give you an example. You can hear I'm still blowing through the hole, through the note, but I'm lifting my tongue and I'm creating kind of a chord there. Let's see, what else was I going to show you? One other technique, and this is what you want to do if you want to play what you call blues harmonica. You need to learn how to bend a note. Now this is pretty difficult and it might take you a while to learn it. The way I recommend actually learning to bend a note, first of all, I'll kind of show you the way I do it, but since if you're watching me here, you're already on the internet looking at videos, I would look at a bunch of different people's videos and ideas that they'll tell you how to do it, and play around with it until you finally find the way to do it yourself. It takes a lot of practice, but eventually it'll come to you, so don't get discouraged. It takes a while to do it. But what I mean by bending a note is, and the note you want to start out with is the 3-hole. That's usually the easiest note to bend, and the one that, for very simple blues songs and riffs, that's the one you'll probably use the most. So, first of all, when I blow into the 3-hole, when I draw, and then when I bend, it's a little half note between the blow and the draw. And you can kind of roll through it where you go. And that gives it that little bluesy sort of sound. Now, to bend the note, the best way I can suggest to learn how to do that is to start by actually bending your harmonica as you have it to your face. Move it upward where you're drawing in your bend notes on the 1 through 6 holes if you're trying to bend one of those, and 3 is the main one you're going to work on. You're going to be on drawing, pulling air through the harmonica. So when you move it up and change the angle you're drawing through, that's called bending the note. So what I would try is put your tongue kind of at the bottom of the 3 hole and close the hole at first. So as you're drawing, it's not really pulling any air through, and then slowly lift it so that you start to allow just a little air at the top, and then as you roll down, you'll hear it kind of change the pitch where it goes from that bent note back to a full draw, and then work with it back and forth like that. And that's what you're looking for. So practice with that, and you can try other methods where you just kind of, maybe roll it off your lip. Now that's probably not how you'll end up playing it, but you can try it that way. You can try using your tongue in different positions. But rolling it like this usually is where you'll play with it. You won't get it at first, and then you finally hear, oh, but there it was. And try it a few more times and start to get the feel for how to get that bend. And the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at getting the bend. And then once you're able to create that sound, then you can get into a more comfortable technique where you can actually play and use that note. But for a lot of songs, if you want to be able to cross over from one key to another, you've got to be able to have that bend note to connect the lower notes with the upper notes if you want to have a scale. And it's going to be the thing that really gives your harmonica a bluesy sound. So those are several techniques that you can just kind of play around with, toy with, and see what works for you.